What up, and what up? Salute to my brothers.
Absolutely.
Gunner, what up?
Tag, what up?
My brother Tag.
What we doing,
Make
OG
sure you
Wisdom?
check out the OG Wisdom podcast. You know what I mean? We're in it live and raw from a Val Lagoon. Good show, my niggas. I love y'all.
Most of our leaders come out of organizations. You have to be a part of an organization to be an effective leader. But how do we determine if you're an effective leader if you don't organize the people? You can't just grab the mic or your phone, get on YouTube and say, yo, I'm a good leader because I think I'm a good leader. You have to have a track record of organizing people, setting goals and agendas and getting them done.
Yeah. Politicians I don't really like. Activism is different because, you know, you got a goal. It has nothing to do with politics. When you are activist, you know, it's for your people.
Make sure y'all get ready to tune in to my brother, my big brother, C Gutter and Tag, new podcast, OG Wisdom. Better tune in to that. A lot of jewels, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of street talk, a lot of hood tales, real stories. Check it out. OG Wisdom, Tag, C Gutter.
Microphone check, 1 2 1 2. Peace to my brother C Gutter. Gutter, when you ready, give me the thumbs up, family. All right. Peace, Gutter. What's the word?
What's cracking?
Hold on, my headphones are betraying me for some reason. I'm not hearing you clearly. All right, while I get the tech stuff set up properly. Got to say something real quick. All right, while I get
What's cracking?
stuff set up properly. All right, I see.
You still can't hear me?
See what it is. Got to say something real quick. All right, while
You still can't hear me?
set up. All right, I know what it is. 1 2 1 2. All right, what it is, right, Gutter? And shout out to everybody checking in. We definitely appreciate y'all rocking out with us. Our sister K Fighter, our brother Rich Nice. You know what I'm saying? Today we're gonna discuss hip hop. We're gonna talk about the evolution of hip hop and just the current events of what's going on right now in the hip hop world. But Gutter, how have you been, man? We ain't rocking like a week or two.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Last week I had that race. The joint was grueling. It just wasn't working in my favor, man. Word, that race was kicking my ass, bro. Word.
Yeah, but
I gotta give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me handle something real quick. Gutter, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, all right. So
Can
it's
you hear
my
me?
headphones that are not, because I can hear me. I
And
can't hear you.
And you can't hear me at all.
Give me 1 second, Gutter. One, two. I'm back. Miss you this Thursday at K Fight. Yeah, Rich Nice. You know, we
Can you hear me now?
got some things to take care of. you know, but we be back this Thursday. We definitely be back.
Tag, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right, all right.
Is your
Yeah.
mic down or something?
My mic?
Yeah, you sound low to me, but I hear you.
I'm low?
Yes, but I hear you.
I don't know what's going on.
I hear you, but it's coming in low.
Is it coming in clear now?
Yep, but it's still low. Shout out to Chris Harlow, checking in from Indiana. We definitely appreciate you. Yeah, and Brother Rich, no worries, no worries. You know this, like we said before, we old heads, man.
Yeah.
Figuring out this technology and all this stuff. And we be rocking and rolling, but then it's always updates that like throw a little monkey wrench in the program. Because what we trying to do is also open the phone lines for people to call in and rock out with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
give
we
some
definitely appreciate the love and support that we've been getting from the people. You know what I'm saying?
give y'all opportunity to ask some questions or make statements.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give your perspective. Because everybody got their own perspective.
That's right. And our perspective is no more important than somebody else's. You know what I mean?
I mean, on certain things.
Yeah, because when it comes to the street stuff, you know, we kind of got it locked.
No, it's really no perspective when it's like, you know what I'm saying? It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Right. But you know what's crazy, Gutter? Because no matter how authentic you keep it, somebody will try to put their perspective on it who never been through the situation. It's like take what people call the dirty streets of YouTube. What dudes talk about how dudes behave is contradictory to what they say they represent. You know what I mean? So we don't indulge in that. We don't engage in that. But for people who don't know, they might take their perspective as law because dudes are holler. They was gangsters. They was G's. They was outside. But then when you ask around, they don't even have a resume. So how could you take them serious? It's even like within the Black Power movement. You know, I'm critical of a lot of dudes because a lot of work me and my sister K Fighter's done. I won't say it's minimized, but it kind of tarnish what it is that we say we represent. You know, that's why me personally, I'm gonna always have a foot in Umar ass. I don't care what nobody say, because I can remember years ago when we were scheduled to do real work, and bro he just never pulls up. You know, you arrange your schedule to accommodate people. You know, because we all got things to do with our life.
But
But then
that's
some people act like they're more important than others, and that's where the contradiction always kicks in.
it's like the other little dude as well from Texas.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, dudes is they opportunists because he started off he throwing all about doing, then come to find out that boy took the stand on his co-defendant. Now he puts up stuff where like he don't give a fuck. So it's like the people you deal with, you know what I mean? Because he got to the space he got because people thought he was a certain type of individual.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Thought that he was really about empowering the community.
Yeah.
But when you make fun of people losing their lives in the community, that become problematic within itself. Because are you for the community? And if you are, how do you make fun of the community's pain? Because I don't care what nobody say. Anytime a child is deleted, that's nothing to celebrate. It's nothing to laugh at. And it speaks to your character or lack of. You know, so when you like F the babies and you teasing people for losing their loved ones, all respect or even the little respect that I may have had, it flies out the window. Because you're a
Oh,
person of
that
law.
I never had. I never had. It's just that, that's just something highlighting just what you said about people put themselves out there like they a certain way and they not like that. You know what I'm saying? I knew that from the gate, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not me that made him popular. You understand? It's more of the people that don't know nothing about what's going on is what made him popular. Then you had a lot of dudes that's really from the streets that made him popular. Motherfuckers will watch his videos all day long. You feel me? So, you know, dudes like is everything is content driven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, which makes it a contradiction, because if it's
they
about
ain't got no content. Yeah, the shit they talking about ain't got no content.
right. So Gutter,
Like contentless shit. Like they like having dumbass conversations. A lot of people do.
yeah, but then the sad part is that the people gravitate towards that foolishness like it's a car wreck. You know what I'm saying? Anything destructive, people gravitate to that. But if you're talking about something constructive, people get on a whole nother level.
You're gonna get less of a audience. For the simple fact, I mean, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. This this technology, it's a double-edged sword.
Right, the whole social media space.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because you can do very good things with it, but at the same time, it depends on what you're doing. You understand? Perfect example. Adam 22.
Right.
And the dudes he had on this spot got a whole indictment off of dudes talking too much on the internet.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's crazy because because we definitely going to get into the hip hop, but I guess we setting the stage right now for what the conversation is going to be tailored around, because we definitely going to talk about the evolution of hip hop, and you being one of the few people that lived and grew up with who's arguably the greatest rapper of all times. Your perspective is definitely is valued, is warranted, is qualified. Yo, shout out to Cap Joe, because we still got folks saying things that just aren't true, Gutter. And
he shot some more shit out there.
Suppose that came with receipts that, you know, with a track list of the songs him and Big did.
Or track list.
Yeah,
that was some shit somebody sent him. Now I know exactly what you're talking about. It was like a piece of one song that somebody sent them. Well, I told you, the only thing I heard was when niggas on the joint cursing.
Right, with the Spanish.
Actually, I think really Big really wanted pun on there.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Right, because that's something Cuban Link said also, because Cuban Link was like he was there.
Don't get it wrong. He fucked with Joe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Joe gave him some opportunities early in the career. When Joe had, I ain't gonna say more of a buzz. You know, I was in jail, so I don't know what the bug, but he had more opportunities lined up as far as doing shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
Due to his affiliation with Digging in the Crate, Zulu Nation, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Big was grateful for like early in the days. You know what I'm saying? So Big had love for him. But all the other shit he talking about is, you know, that shit is Disneyland.
The whole album dissing Tupac and
and all
Disneyland.
That Disneyland.
Yo, and I believe Cuban Links had spoke on that a while ago, because if I'm not mistaken, Cuban Links was one of the people speaking Spanish. Him and Pun was at the beginning of the song, because we all heard a clip of the song, but it was never done. It was never laid out.
Yeah.
But it went from one song to 8 songs to a whole album. One song to 4 songs to 8 to a whole album.
Then no, he was talking about the Dawn. I forgot the shit he was talking about. That shit was so hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
You know, I bug when people say they fell in love with hip hop the first time they heard Big, and I'm be like, damn. Yeah. And no doubt, shout out to Big.
I don't think it's no black people.
It makes you wonder sometimes. But I was gonna ask you.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was no black people that make that statement.
Or maybe they were young.
Yeah. Maybe they were just that's the first thing that they got introduced to hip hop. They were so little. You know what I'm saying? But nobody that grew up. All right, I'll give a perfect example. We grew up before hip hop started. We was listening to music before hip hop started. So we knew the beats, the music that some of the hip hop songs
came
you know what
from.
I'm saying? So that's what got us into
Hip hop.
Yeah. Cause we hearing music remix and then somebody talking about shit that we can relate to. The young kids can relate to.
Gutter, what's one of the earliest hip hop songs you remember?
That I remember. You got to remember, I was living down south, so I wasn't around. Like I got it commercially. I didn't get it raw like everybody that lived in New York City at that time.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I was living in Mississippi. Like, ain't nigga, hip hop, where? Like
still rocking the James Brown, Ray Charles, old school joints.
No, they playing all the music, but you got to think about it. What radio stations played hip hop?
Right, and I want to talk about that, Gutter, because we got 2 hours today. We got time today.
No, but I'm saying we only had that in New York. As far as I know, I don't know about Philadelphia, New Jersey, and all that, but I know for sure the only places they played it was New York, because when I came up here, my cousin I would tape, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I would go back to Mississippi stunt.
Right, because you had the new music.
Yeah. The very first joint I ever heard was Rapper's Delight, like the majority of non-New Yorkers in America.
Right. Because I want to tie it into back to what you were saying about people rapping over familiar music that already existed. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember people rapping. I remember the Treacherous Three rapping over Heartbeat.
I think all those jokes was Heartbeat. Yeah. And that was a real popular disco song.
Right.
So who not gonna know? And then you hit now, you thinking you gonna hear Heart, then somebody start rapping to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it sound dope.
They talking about shit that you can relate to. Or shit that you want to live out. You know what I'm saying? Because they talking about being in the fresh OJ, getting fly. You know what I'm saying? All old school shit. You know what I'm saying? But we as little kids, that wasn't old school for us.
Right.
It was the shit that we wanted to, you know what I'm saying, achieve.
Familiar with.
You know what I'm saying? We wanted to achieve. We wanted OJs and caddies and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Being fly. You know what I'm saying? Getting all the girls for a dude and whatever the females was talking about, because I didn't hear, like that's how I said, I was in the South. So I didn't hear those female MCs.
Right.
I got the music commercially until I moved back up to New York. I got back to New York 84. Now I'm starting to hearing motherfuckers that besides Run DMC and Sugar Hill Gang.
Right, because 84, it was already commercialized.
Yeah. And Curtis Blow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn, I forgot about Curtis Blow. He was like the first rap heartthrob.
Yeah.
Because I remember ladies going crazy over homie not having no shirt on his album cover.
No, not his shirt wasn't was it he had a shirt off, or he had the joint with the buttons all the way down with the top?
Nah, he had his shirt off on the breaks, because I think that was his first joint.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because at one point Curtis Blow was the man. You know what I mean?
What's
and
crazy,
this is after Rapper's Delight.
He never was that nigga to me.
Nah, not to us. No. And
no,
you know,
you got to think about it. I'm in Mississippi.
Right.
He still wasn't that nigga to me.
Right.
He was like, to me, he always was corny. To me.
So when you was listening to hip hop, who did you like over Curtis Blow?
Shit, there wasn't nobody out there but Run DMC, nigga, that I knew about.
No. Right. And that's what I was gonna say, because Curtis Blow came before Run DMC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like I said, is they were cool for a moment, you know what I'm saying? But when I got back to New York, the way they was dressing didn't fit the neighborhood. So they immediately got canceled out.
Right.
Because like for me, it wasn't just the rapping. You know what I'm saying? It's the look, the swag, and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really like feel like I wanted to be like the only nigga I wanted to be like before that was Lee from Beat Street.
Right. And
That's
that
because
was
he
84.
Yeah, that's because he was Dougie in every scene. That
Yeah.
nigga, and he could dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And looking back at it, like I know that nigga was either boosting or digging pockets or snatching chains or something. There's no way you got sheepdogs, gooses, V bombers. He had everything, my nigga.
Yeah. Yeah. Sister K Fighter said back when they had gyms on Shady Rest Park, back of Farragut PJs. Yeah.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah. Word. Now, what's so crazy is what's the first block party you went to, Gutter? The first park jam, and do you remember?
The first one I went to, well, we had like when we used to come up, they had block parties when we was in Flatbush.
Right.
Like
And what joint?
my grandmother lived right on Church and Bedford. Between
And what joints was they playing in Flatbush at the block party?
little. I'm talking about this, and I was 5, 6, 7. Like I remember block parties from then.
Do you remember the music?
No, I was 5, 6, 7. I'm not.
I could tell you the first block party. I could tell you the music, everything, the
Who
energy.
New York, it's different. I'm visiting from somewhere else.
Yeah, my bad. I say that again. You say
You live here. I visited from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I probably would have remembered, because this is the thing. It's like when I was living here, I remembered when we lived in the LES. I remember the building. Like I was just talking to my sister recently when I went to NC. Like I remember the building. I remember where our apartment was in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like if I go to the building, I can point exactly to where our apartment was.
Right.
If the building is still up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like as far as when I was visiting, nah, I wasn't catching the memories like that. I just remember like us running around. They had cotton candy machines, all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every block party, you know, you playing it like, and then as a kid, like I wasn't thinking about no music, my nigga.
No.
5, 6, 7, nah, fuck no. Me personally,
Right.
you know
Yeah. Yeah.
I can only speak for me. I can't talk about every 7, but me, hell no. I'm thinking about cartoons and running around, maybe humping.
And you know what's crazy? Because I grew up in a musical house. And that's something Ahmed always tell me.
Yeah, I grew up in a musical house as well. But it's just that bro, for some reason, like, all right, I knew what my mom's played in the crib. You understand what I'm saying? On Sunday when she cleaned up. But other than that, nigga, I didn't know and didn't care.
Yeah. See,
my pops is a jazz musician. I never listened to none of that shit till I got older, my nigga.
Right.
Like I wasn't even caring.
That this culture was shifting.
No, until hip hop, my nigga. I didn't care. I knew melodies and songs and boom. I knew certain joints like Michael. Of course, I knew Michael Jackson and you know shit like that. Of course, I listened to that, but like just being into music so much that I knew a whole lot of artists. I think I knew Michael Jackson. That probably was the extent of like as a little kid. That was probably the extent of my, you know, him, Stevie Wonder, like the people that we would see on TV all the time.
Right. That was the music we was listening to before there was hip hop.
Yeah. And then when hip hop came, nigga, that's when I start like even reggae. My nigga, I listened to it sparingly until I got older, probably a teenager. That's when I started getting more into music.
Okay.
As a teenager, but hip hop started it.
Right.
Like, once hip hop started, once 79 hit, I was into music.
Yeah. I think for me, since I grew up in a musical house, I remember artists before Curtis Blow because you got to remember, my mother was a teenage parent. So when I was a kid, my mother was still young. She might have been like 20, 21, still hip into what's going on in the street. Then I had my Uncle Zayd, who was a DJ.
How old were you in 84?
11.
Yeah, your mom.
But I remember the Fatback Band from 1978. I've been listening to hip hop.
Fatback. I remember, like, but that, like, they wasn't saying nothing.
Right, because they just started rapping. They wasn't even a rap group.
Yeah, it was just break beats.
Yes. And then they had one song where somebody rapped over. It was, I can't remember the song, but somebody rapped. And I just thought it was dope because it was different. Because it wasn't like Sugar Hill Gang to me. I had already heard rap. I don't even remember if it was from my uncle's tapes. Because even when breakdancing came out, I remember it being called The Freak before it was called breakdancing.
But you know, all the names they made, white people made. But this is what I'm saying is, like, see, that's what I'm saying. Your experience was different because you was in ground zero. Me, I'm getting it like more for everybody else from the South, the West Coast, everywhere. I'm getting, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm getting like everybody else.
Like 84.
Huh?
Like 84 for you. Like when you really got into.
No, nigga, as soon as I heard fucking Rapper's Delight, 1979.
And that was it for you. You just started rocking.
Yeah, I was hip hop from then on. Like anytime I heard whether it was whack or nigga, I loved yeah. Ronald Reagan, I flew flights over 30 times over the, like, yeah, my nigga. I watched all that bullshit. I was into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't want to go too far ahead because I definitely want to bring up Big because we know that's a classic line he put out there. Remember rapping Duke, the hard, you never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Because shit, I remember Ronnie Dangerfield was rapping. You
exactly.
Rapping
yeah, and I had that.
Blondie was rapping on the Rapture.
Yeah, I had, like, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, it, no matter how whack it was, nigga, I had it.
Yeah.
Nigga, what's the skinny white boy name? Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah. I just saw his shit for what it was, you know, a novelty rap.
That's Eminem before Eminem, my nigga. No, because he was like, his shit was cool for him to be a white boy.
Right.
And
because
he didn't
what he did was take black music and remix it.
He didn't try to fit into our shit.
Yeah.
He stuck to white boy shit. And that's what made it funny for me.
Yeah, I think for everybody, like Eat It and like A Surgeon and all his little novelty raps.
All that shit was hilarious to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because like, see, I remember park jams back when I was younger, right on Downing, right on Waverly. It was block parties. And in fact, that's what most of the block parties were, because I could remember block parties as early as the 70s before hip hop really kicked in. Because like by 82, 83, you know, when Fat Boys was rocking, you had the other white dude, Malcolm McLaren, that really did instrumental shit with Buffalo Girls, world famous Supreme Team. What else he had? Malcolm McLaren had some joints that you could consider hip hop. And then you also had that group from the UK called the Art of Noise that mostly did instrumentals, but I think the name of their song was
I wasn't one of them niggas, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Nah, I was heavy into hip hop.
Like, I'm not listening to instrumentals and none of that dumb shit.
No, but what it was, hold up, you didn't listen to Herbie Hancock Rocket?
Dum 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 dum, the shit from Eddie Murphy that Eddie Murphy had.
Yeah.
Dum 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 dum.
Yes. And see, and that's what I want to talk about, the evolution.
Yeah,
because we talking about the evolution.
That wasn't no joint where I was like I wasn't crazy about that.
No, not you per se, but we just talking about the genre of the music of.
But early I'm saying, I'm speaking. We, like I said,
right?
Before when we spoke, We're gonna speak from our perspective.
Right.
I wasn't with that. I didn't do none of that shit. All the trying to be a DJ, none of that shit.
So hold up, you didn't fuck with Buffalo girls?
Not hell no.
You ain't fuck with one Buffalo girl going around the outside.
Hell no.
Get the fuck out of here, gutter.
They was white, my nigga.
Well, nobody knew that until
Yeah, the video
you knew
came
that
out.
when Buffalo girls came out. Nigga was
Video
shouting out
came
Brownsville.
Bro, that I knew. You got to remember, I'm not from. I wasn't living in New York at the time. I'm getting it like everybody. Like that's what I'm saying. You don't understand how it is.
No, I'm listening,
outside.
but
no, you don't understand how it is from outside of New York because your only experience is New York. I'm giving you the experience of somebody from outside of New York that got into hip hop. I got into hip hop outside of New York, not when I got back to New York.
Right.
So I got it through commercial means. First time I saw that, white people, Blondie.
Okay.
You got to remember the household I was brought up into. Houdini, hell yeah, Houdini considered rap.
Yeah.
What?
I don't want to get out the 80s, and we definitely rock with Houdini heavy. But what I was talking about, Gutter, because I want to give it the evolution for those giving our perspective.
That's
but
what
again,
I'm saying. You can't ask me about a New York experience when I entered hip hop. I wasn't in New York. So you have to ask me from where I come from, and you got to explain the New York experience. I can't.
Right, and that's what I'm about to do, because the evolution of New York music, and what I was going to say, the point I was going to make is how some songs were considered hip hop, but not necessarily hip hop artists. That's why I brought up Herbie Hancock and Malcolm McLaren and The Art of Noise, because they had songs. Now, hip hop was already formed as a culture. 82, 83, we had New York Hot Tracks, all of that. People were putting raps on their songs, like Blondie and the Rapture. We know Blondie ain't no rapper, but she did rap on her song Rapture, because this is what hip hop is budding.
That's when I start. I ain't gonna lie. That's when I start kind of like judging. Right around there, when they start inputting the mayonnaise mafia in there, I start judging.
Yeah. And I'm be honest with you, I really didn't like Rapture, because there was already other old school crews, you know.
And also with me, I'm kind of a stickler for certain shit. If you do something, do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't switch up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't like unless you were born in the two cultures, then it's different. Like if you Puerto Rican and you black, you know what I'm saying? You grew up in two cultures. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's acceptable. But for me, like if I don't want me, I like, and Eminem's nice, but I'm not listening to no white boys, bro. I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah, I'm be honest with you. I never owned an Eminem album a day in my life. And I'm be honest with you, it ain't because he's white. For me, it's like there's so many dope artists. Like we had the Big Daddy Kanes, the Rakims, the Grand Poobahs. There was other artists who may have fell off. In fact, Eminem always said one of his favorite rappers is Master Ace, which I always thought Master Ace was one of the dopest lyricists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Master Ace was nice. But then as hip hop evolved,
I never thought him as being one of the dopest.
Yeah,
like I said, he's coming from our perspectives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because what it was with Master Ace, at the time that he came out, lyrics was still important. Lyrics, subject matter, and context was still important. A lot of dudes didn't know how to rap. He had a flow, he had a cadence. Master Ace was nice. That's why Eminem will always give him his props, and that's one thing I respect about Eminem.
He was nice, but didn't, like I said, I didn't consider him on the upper echelon. I'm not saying he wasn't nice,
right?
for me,
Right, because of course, because you still got them competing with Canes and Rakim and G-Rap.
You got too many niggas that were, to me, levels ahead of him.
Right.
Like I said, like a Kane, a Rakim. Then you had young boys that could like a Special Ed, to me, was nicer than him and younger than him.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to disagree with that one. I like Special Ed now. I'll be honest. I had Special Ed album and I thought he was dope. And again,
think about it.
You want to make me go back and listen to both of them, Gutter.
Ed was 15, Ed was 15, 16, my nigga.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but outside of I Got It Made and his commercial joints.
Nigga, it's you gotta listen to there. You gotta listen to the album.
Yeah, because I remember Hold Down. Now I used to like the Hold Down.
Magnificent. What?
Yeah.
I had joints, my nigga. Ed had joints for young niggas. That's what like that's why I say too is like
AZ definitely.
AZ, that's years later. Like, are you serious? AZ? How you can't put AZ in that era? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about when we was teenagers.
Right. So who was one of your favorite when you was a teen?
When I was a teen? Oh, it was hands down. My favorite was KRS-One.
Yeah, KRS-One used to be one of my
favorite was Kane. Old favorite was Rakim. Not that like, damn, because it wasn't a comparison of who was better. It was just that's who was my favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That like, you know what I'm saying? We would debate all the time, but like, nigga, like once I'll give you a perfect example. I remember one time we was on the stoop, me, Big, and rest in peace, right? We all on the stoop. And we talking about joints. So, you know, we quoting lyrics to each person joint. Like, nah, but you know, this joint here is da 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 da. That nigga spit that Rakim joint. That nigga shut me up for the whole day.
Which Rakim joint?
That competition is none. I remain at the top like the sun. And I burn whoever come in the chambers of torture. I'll torture. You should have brought your neighborhood to support you.
Is that Lyrics of Fury?
Nah, that's competition is none.
Okay. First album or second?
Second
album. So going back, because I'm gonna talk about Rakim's first album, because some of these artists, we heard their songs and we knew they were gonna be big. Like Big Daddy, when Big Daddy Kane came out.
Album, like his first album was good, but it wasn't enough tracks.
Well, I don't think a lot of artists had a lot of tracks. You think a lot of dudes had like 8 to 10 songs, maybe 12.
Nah, nigga. I could tell you the first full conceptual album that I heard was 3 Feet High and Rising in 88.
Right. But think how far hip hop came in 88. Because we already talking about more than 10 years.
Rakim,
by the time De La Soul dropped.
But Rakim was 1 year before that. Rakim dropped 1 year before that. No, 87.
86 Rakim came out.
The album dropped 1980.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about the album. I'm talking about the artist. Yeah. Yeah. But,
but we don't know when they came out. Because
you hit it on the head.
No, we that's when their album came out. We don't know what they was doing prior to that.
Right. But I'm talking about
literally because they all from Long Island. They could have literally been in the game as long as Rakim. You understand what I'm saying?
But we can only judge by when they drop because you right to that point.
Rakim didn't drop until 87. You heard his songs on the album. All right, we heard Pothole and Long in 87. Then that means De La Soul came out in 87 because we heard it on the radio.
Nah, I heard it in 88, but you could be right. It could be 87.
I heard
because you can't forget EPMD if we talking Long Island.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying, all I was saying is they all came out around the same time.
Right.
And what I'm saying is 1 year after another, Homie and them came out with the best conceptual album at the time. Period.
Yeah, because what they did with them skits, we
They
never
had
heard nothing
skits,
like
man.
that before.
Yeah, we never heard nothing like that.
Never, and it was entertaining because they really
Yeah.
took the album.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
all about entertainment. Yeah,
That was the first album that we envisioned the music.
right.
Because now we got a context of where they coming from. Oh,
Right.
these, you know, and we teenagers. We at that age that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Thank you, K Fighter and JE. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That Rakim, when Rakim came out, it was 86 with and Gutter. That's the point I wanted to make before we move too far. Because what I was gonna say is a lot of artists we knew were gonna be big by their first songs. Like even De La Soul with I think what was first? Plug One, or was it Potholes in My Lawn? Potholes in My Lawn was first.
No.
Right? Plug One?
Plug One.
Okay, because whichever joint came out first, we knew they was gonna be big.
But you gotta remember,
what I mean?
remember, well, I'm gonna go back a little bit more too as well. We're gonna go back 3 years prior. You don't remember Masters of Ceremony? This is when Grand Pooba, yeah. You knew like
86.
And then he just disappeared for a few years.
Yep.
When he came back on the scene, a lot of people thought he was new.
Right. When he came back with Brand Nubians in 1990,
Exactly.
it feels so good.
Yeah.
Because Pooba was definitely one of my favorite artists in the late 80s. Because he had
mid 80s, my nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 86.
Yeah. Because he had Sexy. The two songs I really remember is Sexy and Crack House.
In Crack House, yeah.
Yeah.
That's late 85, early 86, my nigga.
Yeah, because I was in the 8-ball back then when Pooba dropped that joint.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm dreaming. So go ahead and leave. It made you hang to it, swing from a tree.
Yeah. And JE says Slick Rick too.
You look sweet. Yeah, hell yeah. Slick Rick, shit. What? When was Lottie Dottie? 84? When I came back up there. No.
85.
Nigga,
Summer
I was
85.
listening that on the radio in 84, my nigga. When I came back up here on Crip.
84?
84.
I remember the summer 85. First time I heard it was on DeWan's boombox. He was walking down the block. No, first I heard the show. I heard the show first. Then I heard Lottie Dottie. Because a matter of fact, 85, because Salt and Pepper came out in 85 when they were called Super Nature, and they had their diss song to them. Because Salt and Pepper wasn't the only one who had a diss song to the show. Salt and Pepper came, it was a couple of rappers that came trying to diss the show. Because remember, the A side was the show and the B side was Lottie Dottie, because you really couldn't play Lottie Dottie nowhere because of the curses.
But you're talking about, nigga, we had tapes. This is what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not talking about drop tapes. This is what I'm telling you. In New York, niggas was playing Lottie Dottie and the show in 1984.
That I don't remember.
I remember this. This is what I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm
not
I'm
on no you buying the album in the store. It was
not because it wasn't even an album yet. Because I mean, not the album, the song and the album. I had the record and the album.
It's the A and the B side. That was the only you were singles.
Right. The show was on one side.
This is what I'm saying. Tad, listen to what I'm saying, brother. Are you listening? Are you taking this in? People had tapes of the song before it officially came out. This is what I'm telling you.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I said.
Listen, no. Then I'm telling you, if it came out in 85, then I'm telling you it's 84. I'm not talking, that's what I'm telling you. Not dudes dubbing the tape off a tape after it was released. I'm talking about dudes had tapes of the song. That's just like they had the dude, the Gucci Man. Like niggas used to buy tapes, bro, that you would hear dudes that you like. It was a dude named Gucci Man. Gucci Man. Same time.
That was actually Dana Dane. That's actually Dana Dane's song. That was Dana Dane. That you could YouTube it. It's on YouTube.
I didn't know, but I'm saying at the time
When I walked inside, it smelled like dead fishes, roaches crawling in the sink because she forgot to do the dishes. Yeah. Yeah, that was Dana Dane, because you got to remember Dana Dane was down with the Kango crew with him, Slick Rick, and two other dudes. That's why they
My
always sounded
name
so
was
similar.
Gucci Man. That's what I'm telling you.
No, the name of the song was Gucci Man.
No, brother. Listen to what I'm saying. One
Yeah.
of the dudes in the Kango crew was named Gucci Man.
Really?
Yes.
Just taught me something. You just taught me something, because they got it as Dana Dane Gucci Man.
No, listen. It's Dana Dane. It was the Kango crew was Dana Dane, Slick Rick, and Gucci Man.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look that up too. But that's what we here for, you know what I'm saying? To just share this information and learn.
And like, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like when I get back to New York, this is when you seeing flyers with the graffiti nigga. With the, like you seeing the flyers of who gonna perform. You know what I'm saying? And you see the graffiti, you see the graffiti nigga with the pose, all that.
Yeah.
Look.
Sister K Fighter said it was Sister K Fighter, you might have to
Yeah.
Then she said Lottie Dottie was 93, but that's Slick Rick version. But then she said Lottie Dottie was 85.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. Bro, you got to remember, before these people drop, that's just like what year did you hear fucking Ready to Die, my nigga?
Well, you know, that's not fair to ask me, because remember the tape was circling in the hood.
All right, you think it just happened with Big? Come on, bro.
But she got
like this is what I'm telling you. That's what I'm trying to break down to you, my nigga.
No, but hear me. We don't want to go into when they created the concept. We want to go when it was released. Because if you're not in the studio with these artists, you don't know when they did it. We got only go by when it was released.
I mean, I'm telling you when I'm hearing it, and you're saying, yo, 85.
Okay.
I'm telling you, all right, we know that. And I'm telling you when I'm hearing it, though. I'm not telling you when it released. I'm telling you when I'm hearing it. Just like you heard all Big shit before 94, I was hearing all of this shit before it came out. Dudes was bootlegging tapes back then, my nigga. But it was just a bunch of artists, different artists. You buy a tape for $3, it got all the new niggas on it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
So what was the first mixtape you got? Like back then?
Shit, it had.
Like you remember, like when shit first popped off and when shit first dropped?
No, see, I can't say. I can only speak when I got back, my nigga. Because I wasn't.
I'm not talking about nobody. I'm talking about you, Gutter. When you got your mixtape, because you said you had Lottie Dottie in '84. It was on a different tape, so clearly you remember that stuff. What else was there?
I had tapes in '82 and '83 because I'm coming back up to New York, and my cousin. I have two cousins that live up here.
Okay, so you was getting it from your cousins.
Yeah, I got action before then, but I'm talking about when I'm literally in New York in the scene. See, it's different when I'm not on the scene, and I can't speak on. I just know my cousin gave me a tape. This got all the shit that I like. Boom, I'm going back to Mississippi. I'm showing out like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm athletic, so I'm breakdancing down there. I'm doing shit that motherfuckers ain't up on yet.
Yeah. So who was like the first artist you was like, I rock with this artist, I fucks with this person?
Like new, like unknown that I didn't know before I got back.
You got into hip hop and you was like, okay, I fucks with this.
Like I could speak on the people I didn't know about, because when I got to New York, then I realized like the Run DMCs, they ain't the dudes no more. Right. In my mind, they the dudes. But it's commercial. When I get to New York now, it's Slick Rick, it's Dougie Fresh, it's Rakim, it's the Fat Boys, you know what I'm saying? Because the Fat Boys is not. You got to think about it. Before they came out, it's on the album. Stick 'em. They talking about doing stick ups, my nigga.
Yeah,
and
it was the Disco 3.
Yeah, they was the Disco 3.
Yeah,
a lot of their songs on the album, they're saying they the Disco 3.
Yeah,
people gotta go back and listen to that Fat Boys album. They talking about the Disco 3 damn near the whole album.
In fact, on the song Fat Boys, they was the Disco 3.
Yeah.
Listen to the
They-
sounds of the Disco
listen,
3. Yeah.
yeah, look.
Buff started
All
doing the
they
beatbox.
saying, all they was saying was they was fat boys.
Right.
Motherfuckers listen to the raps. They talking about doing robberies, my nigga.
Yeah. What's the name of that? Oh, it was called Human Beatbox. Brr, stick 'em, stick 'em. Brr, stick 'em. Yeah. Because we really didn't hear people do the beatbox other than Dougie Fresh. Because Dougie Fresh was doing the beatbox and Buff was doing the beatbox too. And I think
I was
Dougie Fresh was already on the scene before he dropped because he was on tapes.
Yeah, like, but you got to think about it. Dougie Fresh was on fucking Beach Street.
Yeah. But Fat Boys was out before Beach Street.
Huh?
Fat Boys was out before Beach Street. Like, I think Beach Street was 84, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Beach Street was 83.
It could have been.
And Crush Groove came out after Beach Street, my nigga.
Yeah. Yeah. But the
elements I'm saying, people in Brooklyn knew that. That's why I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's like if you was outside, you knew about these people before they came out. They were popular in New York before they came out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like just like it is now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, less now because now is more through the internet. But it was organic. Like when they had the buzz, it start from where they from and move. Yo, you heard it, you heard this, and somebody have a tape. And bro, these is dudes that been performing a song for 2-3 years before the album, before it gets really recorded. They didn't already perfected this song because they performing it, getting a little ends and ones and shit like that. Cause it was also a hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, they rapping, boom, I win a contest, or I go over here and I might get $50 for, getting on the mic and busting one of them joints everybody love.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, when I was younger, Run DMC was my group. But I'm gonna tell you, early days of it, my favorite rapper was Kool Moe Dee. Remember, this is when he was with the Treacherous 3. And that's because he burnt Busy B. He was like the first dude to burn another artist publicly. Like that was probably like the first battle we know.
Like, I wasn't there. I wasn't here for that.
Right. No, I'm talking about my experience now.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
evolution of who I like as artists.
It's like that's dope. Like I was like jealous of motherfuckers that was not in a negative way, but like envious, like damn, why my moms ain't bring me, like why I couldn't come back this time and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing, you don't know why your mom's doing what she doing, but you just thinking about like, damn, if I could have been there on the ground back then, because I know me, I definitely would have been in the mix.
Yeah, outside with all the shorties, and that's what was dope because like I was a little kid and you outside, it's dark, the street closed, and you got all of this new music. Because now when Kool Moe Dee was my favorite artist, right? I don't know if you remember this show called Graffiti Rock. They had the Treacherous 3 and they had Run DMC on. And it wasn't no real battle, but the way Run flowed, because Kool Moe Dee did have an old school flow. He was just the best in that genre at the time. But the way Run was spitting his raps with confidence, damn that costume he had on. Because I wasn't putting on no leather blazer and no fedora. That wasn't my style.
Nah, but back then, you got to think about it. Back then, yeah. In 81, 82, 80, like that was the it style. But once I got that was the it for the teens.
Right.
Teens, late teens, 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That
the
was
older dudes.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm like 9, 10, 11 years old.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, I'm preteen, teen, just hitting teenager. You know what I'm saying? Around these times. I'm 11, 12, 13. So this is the shit that I want. But by the time I get back to New York, you got to remember I'm living outside of New York. So by the time I get back to New York, 84, niggas ain't really with that shit no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you can wear it, but it's like dying down. Like motherfuckers, like gas is starting to pop. Then the next year is like, so like you got to remember, for me, it wasn't just the raps. You had to have a look.
Yeah.
Like that's why I used to be mad about all these niggas from Brooklyn.
Why?
It's only one nigga that was still looking right. It was the nigga TFO with the waves. He was the only one. Everybody else was crazy, my nigga.
Yeah.
You had
educated rapper hat on the suit.
Yeah, you had the Jerry Curl nigga, the big head nigga.
Rest in peace, the Kango Kid. Yeah, and educated rapper. Yeah.
Extremely large. His shit make stupid, my nigga. Then you had like the Fat Boys was fly fat niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That then you had Houdini. Like for the women, yeah, they probably, but I'm not fucking with no nigga running around with no leather shorts, my nigga. Like you got to be crazy. I am not emulating this nigga at one bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's how I said. For me, it was also the look as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
J.E. said some real shit.
But Grand Poobah was later. That was like a couple years later. But this what I'm saying is like once Rakim and Kane start coming in, Heavy D, and
can't forget MC Shan.
MC Shan was still kind of old school. Like he fit, but niggas wasn't wearing no Pumas no more, my nigga. That's really how KRS-One was able to kill him.
What, dissing his Pumas?
What? You gotta think about
in the beginning, him and LL was beefing over the image.
Hell. Like fashion plays a very big part of hip hop, my nigga. So once, like, if a nigga start clowning on a nigga like that, and KRS-One wasn't no fly nigga
ever.
Like he wasn't no nigga that you. But this is the thing. He had the most up to date sneakers. He had the Nikes. He talk about Nikes. You know what I'm saying? And he wore the leather coat. So that was like niggas that fuck with a leather, like, oh man, that shit is hard. You know what I'm saying? He got the custom leather coat. Other than that, like Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Like other than that, his style was Boo Boo. But he's a big tall nigga, so you can't really expect too much out of him.
Yeah. I think what was dope back then is that all of these artists that we named, you know, and rest of the piece, those who transitioned and passed away, I think everybody had their own individual style, most of them. And then they had their own individual rap flow, message, the way they presented.
Everybody had but this is the thing is, you got to think about it. This is the era of, especially in Brooklyn, dudes running in stores. This is the high boosting era. So only certain dudes connected with certain dudes.
Meaning what, high fashion time?
Yeah. My nigga, if a nigga ain't look right, he had to be super nice.
Yeah.
He had to be super nice where you overlook his. But if a nigga is like, if you ain't no top-notch rapper and you look corny, you're not lasting long.
Nah. And a lot of rappers didn't. And J.E. made a dope point, because as you talk about fashion, Gutter, we remember the Coca-Cola gear.
Yeah.
Pacific Trails, the spot.
That nigga bust out, bro. He bust out immediately. He had the red and the yellow Coca-Cola sweatsuit with the droopy socks and the spot belts, both colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fly fat nigga. Damn.
Yeah.
Then
he have the stopwatch too?
And he dancing.
Yeah.
Now, he had a swatch on. And I think he had a swatch on.
The swatch watch, right? The joint used to go around the neck. I mean, not the swatch, the stopwatch, not the
Yeah,
SWAT watch, the
the
stopwatch.
stopwatch, yeah, because people, kids was wearing the stopwatches at that
Yeah, I
time.
remember we was rocking the
You know,
stopwatches around
it
the
was
neck.
Casios, the G-Shocks,
Yeah,
oddly enough. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was wearing the Casios, the first G-Shocks. The like that's when if you know what I mean?
and you took it back, God. I forgot about the Casios. A little
Yeah,
calculator on your arm, the little watch and your calculator. You couldn't
yeah.
tell nobody nothing. You got one of
We
those.
had certain, dudes that would, because that was the thing, the stuff that we were into. If we see somebody, the shit that the teenagers was into,
Yeah,
we going to be attracted to it immediately.
yeah.
Because
Because hip hop set the trend of the fashion.
that was the era, but that was just the era in New York of moving more upscale and fashion in our community. And it
Yeah.
came mostly from, boosting.
Yo, when do you think?
The boosters set the trend, which they always did. You know what I'm saying, in New York. So the boosters got younger. So and they start stealing from stores. This is the shit we wanted. Nigga, they like especially Polo, Tommy, and all of that. We was on it. Benetton, and then we was also like for dudes my age. I remember cutting school plenty of times going to steam stores, running stores and snatch what you could snatch. Joe, Tommy, Coca-Cola, Benetton,
All that fly stuff.
Herman's, because you get the head sweatsuits. You know what I'm saying? So if you see a dude looking a certain way, blah, 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 it's like, all right. And he could rap good and he's saying the shit that you want to hear.
Yeah. So when do you think the transition happened? Like, what was the big difference between the 80s and 90s hip hop that you saw?
I think it was more of a transition from early 80s to mid to late 80s.
And what would that transition look like? Because I know for me, my perspective was a lot of artists got better as artists.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Lyrically, fashion wise.
From once you passed, once you like Run DMC them was the last, him and Kool Moe Dee was the last old school niggas. Everybody else fit into my demographic, my age demographic. You know what I'm saying? Right. As far as fashion and content, and lifestyle. Because like the younger, the next generation got better lyrically. You know what I'm saying? We got out of state using the same break beats and all that shit too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got sonically better as well as far as production and all that.
Yeah.
And the subject matter. It wasn't no more like, yo, yeah, and I lock all the ladies. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dudes talking about real life shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when they was talking about how fly and the whip but it's a story within that instead of that just being the story.
Yeah. So who was some of
before the story was like outside of the message and shit like that? Like the stories is so stagnant. It's just like, yeah, I got this and I got that and boom, 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 and I fly and all you niggas sound is, they sound is the same. You know what I'm saying? Even their cadence was the same. And then motherfuckers start switching cadence and shit like that. That's when I think that's what I'm saying. Mid 80s. Because you got to remember, mid 80s, this is Rakim, EPMD, Kane, Cool G Rap. You got to remember Cool G Rap, Rikers Island, that's 85, 86.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cool G Rap, the dude from Philly, Schoolie D.
Shout out to Schoolie D.
You know what I'm saying? LL. Even, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like, for real.
Hold on 1 second, Gutter.
Yeah.
Gutter, I'm gonna try something real quick. You can hear me, right, Gutter?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'll try something real quick. Peace. K Fighter, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Gutter, can you hear her?
Yeah. I hear.
All right, I had to turn the TV off so you don't get no feedback.
No doubt. We got our sister K Fighter on the check-in. And this is for the people in the audience too. We're gonna start opening the line so we can let people call in. But you was in the comments, Sister K Fighter. What you want to add on to the cipher since you were there? And in fact, you had a rap career at one time, right?
Somewhat, yes. I had a production deal with Electra back in the day, but that never panned out to anything. But it was very different for the sisters than it was for the brothers, for sure. Our preferences were definitely different than y'all. You know, we were looking for the fly guys and, you know, that party music until, you know, a lot of us started dating, you know, brothers in the streets, and then you ride in their vehicles and you hear different music and you get accustomed to hearing that. But it doesn't mean it was our favorite, but we get it.
Right.
Right.
What year did you have your deal with Electra? K Fighter, you there?
Oh, there it goes. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was 1990 to be exact.
Okay, back in 1990.
And we did I did a track off of the Gap Band's losing my train of thought right now. Off of the Gap Band's My Heart, Yearning for Your Love.
Right.
So I did a track off of that. But again, it never panned out to anything. Some things went awry. That's another story for another day.
Yeah.
And I had to get up out of there. But definitely was definitely around for early hip hop, especially here in New York. My uncle Shabazz was definitely one of the pioneer DJs out of the 70s. And he came out of Guyana. And he used to play actually in Shady West Park behind Farragut Projects back in the day. So, you know, that permeated to other things, but definitely going to the block parties in Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights, because again, you know, I'm from Fort Greene, so we didn't have blocks.
Right.
So it's definitely different in the PJs than it is, you know, in those types of neighborhoods.
Y'all had your own day though. Y'all ain't had to have a block. Y'all had your own day, Fort Greene Day.
Word.
The fuck?
Y'all had Fort Greene Day, sis, right?
Yeah, we had Fort Greene Day, we had Farragut Day, you know, all of those things. But one thing people should understand that here in New York in the early days, you know, I can say this for sure, that all of these artists that you hear from around the world, yeah, that wasn't allowed here in New York. I remember DJs getting their head busted for even attempting to play other artists from other cities.
Wow.
Going back to, because my aunt, she actually used to date the owner of the Shadow and, you know, Bentleys and all of that back in the day. So, you know, I used to go, you know, with her as a little kid and seeing a lot of these shows that took place. So, again, it was definitely different for the ladies as it was for the sisters. Like, if it was a ladies' night, definitely Special Ed would be in the place. And then before him, you know, you had your LLs and things like that. So to attract the ladies, you know, that's why Ladies Night became so popular, is because the brothers would show up and the brothers was going to spend money in the club. So that's why Ladies Night was always more popular in the clubs. And so they adapted that party type of music to attract us, you know, women to come into the club to attract you. So, you know, that's how it went. But when it came to the harder hip hop, a lot of us started to like it or listen to it, as I said before, from dating, you know, brothers in the streets and, you know, things that you guys were into. So, and the fashion, as T. Gutter said, was definitely a key element and still is. A lot of people, you know, like to leave that part out of it.
That's right. And
I've
that's
worked with a lot of artists from Birdman to KRS-One to Jodeci, all of them from the shoe companies that I worked for during those days. So a lot of them, even Funkmaster Flex, you know, I worked for the company that helped him get his deal. So that's definitely hand in hand, and a lot of people don't talk about the fashion aspect of it.
That was big, like in like that's another thing is like at one time, this is the difference from now and then. The rappers was trying to look like street dudes.
Right. Street dudes started influencing the rappers.
Yeah. And the look, because all right, we buying stuff from boosters, stuff like that. So we can, you know what I'm saying? It's like the economy, you remember how the economy was in those terms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where each little hustle element work with each other. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
boosters gonna come through, the dudes that's hustling or jacking or doing whatever, they making their money, they gonna buy from the boosters. You know what I'm saying? The weed man, well, and whoever. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let Sister K Fighter go, Gutter, and we're gonna open these lines. But you brought that perspective. Sister K Fighter, we definitely want to thank you for jumping in now. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to say to the people before we let you go?
Nope, I'm about to eat my Sunday dinner. I'm listening.
No doubt. We appreciate you, sis. Take care. Peace.
All right.
That's our Sister K Fighter. You can catch her every Thursday on Thorough Black Talk Radio, Thorough Black Talk Worldwide Radio. Every Thursday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Me, her, Sister Marcia, and Brother Blacksmith go in. We talk about politics. Gutter, you want to open the phone lines or you want to just keep kicking it? Get some other perspectives.
That's up to you, homie.
All right, we want to take a couple of phone calls for everybody tuned in right now. This is something new. We trying, open the phone lines and get the people's opinions because everybody's perspective matters. You know what I mean? So
see, we had down our way, we had what's her name?
Who that did?
April. Yeah,
shout out to April Walker and Walker Wear.
April Walker, yeah. Even before the Walker Wear, she was making like for all the niggas that was getting bread in the hood, she was making MCM coats, Gucci coats, all that shit.
Yeah.
Fire coats.
And you know what's crazy, because she was making the joints that we seen Rakim and Grand Pooba and them had. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta remember, she was already into that.
Yes,
bro. I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
My joint was on green, right?
QB, yeah. QB. QB was in Teenage Love video, right?
Yes. Shout out to Lil Kim. Yes.
You know who got in there, right?
Nah.
April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was the big thing.
You know what I'm saying?
We all was still in Sarah J when she did this.
April is right around the corner of I lived on St. James between Gates and Green. April lived around the corner. Her shit was on Green.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? QB lived in St. James Towers.
Right.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know QB. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know QB at the time. I met QB later on, fucking with she used to hang out with C's sister, Thais.
Right, Thais. Yeah. That's what I remember from.
So that's
Thais came from my block, Marcus sister.
Exactly.
Aisha.
Keys.
And Chantel. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of them. And for those who don't know, QB is the queen bee. We referring to Little Kim, and she was in a Teenage Love video. That's something we always like to let people know because she always has star quality. I remember we was in Sarah J when that video dropped, not going to school, but we was enrolled in school, and when the video came on, everybody's bugging like, oh shit, look at Lil Kim, look at Lil Kim. You know what I'm saying? And we thought that was dope. And again, it was high fashion time because you had Slick Rick in that video. Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane.
All right. I know the reason why we start calling Lil Kim is because of Kim off of Waverly.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, because
it's bigger than the other, so we call her Big Kim
and Lil Kim.
You know what I'm saying? And that was when I came home.
Right.
Because I didn't meet Kim until I came home. I
Right.
may have seen her before that, but until I came home for my first bid, that's when she used to always be with C's crib.
And what year was that?
This was 91.
Okay, because I knew
Came home
Kim
the end of
brother Chris.
91.
Yeah, and shout out to Chris, because Chris used to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
with
yeah.
Chris used to be with Jay all the time when we all went to 258.
Well,
So,
and Chris used to be with Marlo, so you know what I mean?
yeah, that's
But,
right. And shout out to Marlo. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? That's right. I forgot Chris and Marlo was cool too. And that's what I'm saying. So when we talk hip hop gutter, it's kind of different when we talking because of course we talking the legacy of Big, we talking the legacy of Little Kim,
Yeah,
we
but
talking family members and
we
whole
speaking
community.
even before them. So right now
Right.
we in the era even
Right.
before them. And like I said, is the transition was mid 80s on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
The only
The
thing
mid-80s.
about the 90s is it got more commercially viable.
Okay.
Yeah, like financially viable.
Yeah.
That was the difference in the 90s from the like
The 80s.
yeah, because you got to think about it. You had dudes in the mid 80s that was in the 90s and being successful.
Such as give me a couple.
LL, Heavy
Right.
D, Rakim. You got to think about it. Casualties of War, that was 1992, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cool G Rap. Ice Cube.
Yeah, can't forget
Ice
Q.
Cube. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube.
That's
And
the West
then
Coast.
people, I don't know. I know specifically in our neighborhood, we fucked with the West Coast.
Yeah.
Musically.
Yo, I always tell people that. Like, I don't know why people.
But you got to think about it. New York is so big, so they might hear something from a dude from somewhere else, another part of a section that they might be on it like that.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. South Bronx niggas was on it like that. They didn't like niggas that wasn't from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Back in the days, them you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Like they was trying to hijack hip hop.
Yeah, it was like as if hip hop only belonged to them.
Yeah. And it was always a big debate on where it started from because you know Brooklyn will always talk about Grandmaster Flowers doing his 1-2s.
Yeah,
and
but
people from the Bronx coming back taking that up there.
So, and then me being a kid that came from the South, then I started, you know, doing the gang shit. When NWA came out, natural. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I liked it. A couple of Ice-T songs. I just ain't like Ice-T. Look, I couldn't I could never get with the perm on
the
it.
costume. Yeah.
Nah, it was just not a costume. It's just like that was his real. I can't get with the perm.
Right.
Like,
not just the perm. Remember, hold on, Gutter. I was gonna ask, what's the first Ice-T song you heard? Because I did. Ice-T had one song.
Like beds at my door.
See, I heard him before that on Breaking when he had the joint The Glove. He had a song called The Glove on the Breaking soundtrack. Before he really got into gangster shit.
See, this is the thing.
Because he had on a costume. He had on leather shit, fingerless gloves.
I wasn't
Star
like
Trek shit.
That's why I couldn't really fuck with like the Grandmaster Flash and all them, and because they was looking weird to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Those P-Funk costumes.
Like like my niggas, like what is y'all doing?
I don't know nobody wearing that shit.
Yeah, it's like I know, like I don't like me want to look like a superhero. That was when I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to look like I was on Star Wars or some weird shit like that as a teenager. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that kind of like, but what I'm saying is like, because he was in Joski Love joint in video.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It was just the perm. Like at that time, I couldn't get with the perm.
And you know what's funny? Because that's how I felt about NWA when they came out.
Now,
remember, it was on some gangster shit. I'm like, I'm not running from a dude with Jerry curls. I'm sorry.
But this is the thing is like now, I know that's part of niggas' culture.
Yeah. I
like to see a nigga doing day shit. You feel me? Yeah. I see a nigga from LA with the perm. I'm loving it.
Right.
You feel me? Because that's part of their culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's part. You know what I'm saying? That's just like the Boosie fade. When you see a nigga from down south with that nigga, that's protocol.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what's dope about hip hop, because it really gave us a look into other lifestyles. Because like I said, I didn't know how heavy the gang culture was when NWA came out. You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
real, how generational it was. Because we used to laugh at dudes with Jerry curls. Like when we saw Easy E, first of all, we like Easy E music first. We heard Easy E, then we saw what he looked like. It was like, yo, that looked crazy.
This
And
the
all
ill
of them have Jerry curls.
This the ill shit. I can fuck with everything but the curl.
Right.
Because the
And
dress,
that's what I was gonna say.
the dress is like, you got to remember at the time we hustling. So that's hustler gear. That shit you can wear 3-4 days in a row, bust it up, you know what I'm saying? And we don't care, and then we'll get Dougie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When we get Dougie, we putting on name brand shit.
Yeah.
We'll sit, you know what I'm saying? That's just like for us, like Dickies is like for us was the fatigues.
Right. And that's what I was gonna say. Like for them, like once you learn their culture, learn that they really get it in and they putting in pain. Like, all right, because for me, as a young dude in New York,
you gotta
my moms, my stepfather, and all the old heads had Jerry curls.
That was the thing with me. It's old head because I'm from down, like I lived down south for so long. So I'm used to, but you had young motherfuckers that had Jerry curls. Like I know a few niggas that went to school with me. But for me, like I ain't gonna lie, when I was little, I wanted it. And then my mom's like, man, just put some coconut oil and some water in your hair, you cool. You know what I'm saying? And I did it, and my shit was cool.
And it worked.
You know what I'm saying?
See, for me, the only dude I knew with Jerry curls was like this. And he passed away. But we always knew he was funny, right? And got a word to everything. As we grew up, yo, he transitioned to a chick. But when we was young, because that Jerry curl thing wasn't rocking.
See, that was never a New York thing.
Right.
But
and
you
that's
gotta remember, B.I. had a curl, my nigga.
See?
Yes, B.I. had a curl, my nigga.
Now, was it a Jerry curl or S curl?
B.I. had a curl, you know, S curl.
He had the
S
Jerry curl.
Out at set, and when he was 11 years old, my nigga. Big, you got to remember, not only down south, Caribbean people was big on the curl too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Down south, like it wasn't just the West Coast, it wasn't just the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? It was the South. Because you got to remember, where's the majority of these people in the Midwest and the West Coast from?
Yeah.
The South.
Yeah.
And it was just that we were younger, we was coming up with different shit, and that was never a part of our culture.
Yeah.
See, like certain shit is a part of niggas' culture. Nobody in that culture don't look crazy. Like nobody in the Midwest look crazy at a nigga with a perm that just busts out with the, one day he come out with the perm. Niggas not looking crazy at him. Whereas us, you know what I'm saying?
You're like, fuck is wrong with this dude?
Like, this thing got a perm? Oh, he trying to be a preacher or a pimp. That's the first thing I'm rethinking up here. You know what I'm saying? But because it's not part of our culture.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Gutter, right? So we moving into the 90s now. The fashion changing. So much is changing. You living and growing up with Big. Who was his influences that you seen was a heavy influence on him?
Kane. Man, I told you we used to have the debates.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Kane,
who else?
Big fuck with a lot of like Big. We listen to everybody, my nigga. Like if it was hip hop, even if a nigga was like one of us perceived as whack, you know what I'm saying? Like if one of the other ones listened to him, we not tell him to stop listening to him. Nigga like what he like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So because we all knew Big Rap, like anybody who's around him knew, like we knew he was the nicest in the neighborhood. If you talked about dudes who could rap, because everybody rap, well, not everybody at the time, but as more and more dudes rap, it was undeniable
I'm gonna tell you like
Chris
this.
was
It was more niggas rapping before. More niggas wanted to be rappers before Rakim and them than after that.
Yeah, because you had to be nice.
Bingo. It was
You
like
had to
everybody was like, "Oh yeah," you know what I'm saying? Like I fake did my thing. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
we
saying?
all did. Yeah.
But you know what I'm
Some
saying?
people,
I
yeah.
got to, but like I like Rakim and them because he knew how to put words together that we like to challenge ourselves with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was one of the things, like, because you got to think about it. The Nation of Gods and Earth was heavy in New York at the time.
Yeah.
So being articulate was like a plus. You know what I'm saying? Because females respected, you know, it was strength, it was the revolutionary strength and the articulateness that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That was a level of intelligence.
And you know, you could be like, you know what I mean? Street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Without
saying?
being corny.
You know what I'm saying?
Smart, street, fly, all of that stuff rolled in one. Almost like a Superman. But you the god.
Especially if you're in it. Exactly. You see what I'm
God,
saying?
nothing you can't do.
So yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I like what J.E. said. Big reminded me of Chubb Rock. Chubb Rock had bars. Chubb definitely did. And what was crazy, I don't know if you remember, everybody used to be like, back in the hood, before Big had his deal, everybody was like, yo, he reminded me of Chubb Rock. And it wasn't a diss. It was because you didn't have too many nice fat dudes that could rap. I mean, you had Chubb Rock, you had Heavy D. Those were the two.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, because Fat Boys was already burnt out by then.
Yeah, like and don't get it twisted. Them niggas had bars, my nigga.
Yeah, hell yeah. So it was a compliment, and it was dope to see, because those who knew Big, me personally, I thought he was better than Chubb Rock. You know what I'm saying? Even though Chubb Rock was dope, because when you just sitting on the block, you remember the Blue Stoop on Waverly?
Yeah.
It was remember everybody used to hang on that stoop, go down there, drink, smoke, whatever. And I remember he used to just be busting bars down there. That was next to Kim and Parker crib.
I used to sit. I never used to go down. Remember, I was locked up.
Oh yeah,
I was locked up. I was in the can.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But we always knew that he was gonna be something special. And one thing I can remember, all of us in the hood knew, say, yo, if he get on, he gonna blow up.
Yo,
we didn't know he was gonna be the biggest, but we knew he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Going to Eric crib. This my
Big
baby.
E.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yo, rest in peace. That's my dude. God bless.
Boom. This is when E's sister Javon, I think she was fucking with a nigga named Sal. I think that's his name. He was supposed to have been fake managing Big. This is like, let me see, I was 17. So it's 86. Yeah, this is 86.
Okay.
Because this is when I meet Big. I don't know his little fat ass is 14.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Is this when he did the video music box thing or after? Huh? Is this when he did his rap on video music box or after?
Video music box.
Yeah, remember there's a clip of him on Gates in Washington in the courtyard. Because remember the corner Gates.
Nah, he was going to the video music box got that after he blew up. He didn't do that for video music box back then. You know what I'm saying?
So what? Somebody just gave Ralph McDaniels the tape.
Yeah, after he.
Okay.
Come on, my nigga.
Yeah,
you would have been on. Think about it. If they showed him when I think Big was like 13 then.
Okay, so you met him after that recording. You said he's like 14.
Not before then or that year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I didn't know nothing about the recording.
Right.
That was
down the line.
That's when a jazz musician used to be recording.
Okay.
I forgot cuz name. You know what I'm saying?
From off of Washington?
I think he from evil St. James or Washington. Tall cat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember the
And,
name
I,
because
and I'm not sure.
about it.
I think cuz knew my pops. I'm not sure though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I knew he was a jazz musician, but I don't think he kind of liked me. You know what I'm saying? No, for real. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? He probably the influence, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think he probably saw like my demeanor and especially my attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was respectful, but like I ain't give a fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, at this time, I had already been through, you know, I done acclimated to New York. So, you know, I done been through the ring already. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you don't feel me, I don't feel you. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't think at the time dude knew my pops, who my pops was. Like, he probably knew my
Right.
pops, but didn't know.
That was your father.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He just
Right.
saw a little black dude, always looked like he angry, looked like he want, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because
But
I had,
trouble.
yeah, you know, I had a mad, you know, because you know, everybody ain't know I'm just dealing with my mom being sick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
But it do explain a lot because I can remember, and like you said, you came later on. So like with Oli, Winnie, everybody, we all grew up together. Big, New Big from PS11. But you was always like a real serious dude. Like when we walk by, if you ain't no dudes, you really ain't say much. You was always off in the cut. And that's what I remember. You with them, but you off to the side when other dudes come around. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember you being with Noon.
See, me and Noon was cool from the park. So
Right.
that's how like once we start coming on Waverly and seeing Noon, that's when I start being cool with everybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I already knew his little brother and Mo. You know what I'm saying?
Like
But
Mo, you
I never hung on Waverly.
Right.
You got to think about it. I knew Noon from being in PS11 playing ball.
Right.
I know Mo and Celeste from
you took it back.
You know what I'm saying? from always being in the park with him.
Now I'm gonna laugh real quick, right? I know with dog.
Yeah, my bad, go back his government, damn.
Right, because we still fuck with him. Sometimes we call him Celeste. Yo, Celeste.
No, but that's what I like.
That's how you know when people know him. No,
because it's the thing is, I always called them that, and then I didn't know people was calling them
that was
black.
his name.
You got to remember, I went to prison, and then when I came home, you know what I'm saying. This 4 years later, black. You know what I'm saying. I'm still saying Celeste,
and there's still mad blacks in the hood.
What? It's a black on every block, my nigga.
It's mad blacks in the hood.
Yeah.
So you like what black? Shit, you think on left it's alone is 3 blacks and they cousins. Pretty what was it?
Oh,
Pretty Black Justice.
Black.
Yeah, Big Black is Black Justice, and I think there was another
and Willie Black.
And who that?
The homie, Willie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a few blacks. And look, it's one block.
2 cousins and a nephew.
Yes.
Well, 2 brothers and a nephew.
Right, but that's one family. You got all these blacks. Yeah. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? So that is funny, you know. But as we watch hip hop evolve, because of course that fashioned us who we was in the streets. And again, the transition of hip hop going into the 90s. Big being one of the
money. That's when money started hitting.
Yeah.
Because before it was like you wanted, like you knew it was blowing up, but you got to remember, like for us, we was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like we lived hip hop, but we also lived the streets. You understand what I'm saying?
Clearly.
So,
and it's funny, as we was talking about, we all rap. That's what made me kind of fall back from rapping, because as a teenager, I had a child, and like you said, there was no money in hip hop yet. So this is like
what I'm saying. So
there was more money on the block.
Yeah, we getting money, bro. I give you a perfect example. I give you a story, right? You remember Full Force?
Of course. Alice, big
Swollen.
D's and Jerry curls. Yeah.
Oh. They used to come to the seafood spot on Fulton. The seafood spot on Fulton. This from back in the days. Remember the Korean spot?
Was it between St. James and Cambridge or St. James and Washington?
Okay. And Washington.
Yeah.
It's the fucking it's the chicken spot now.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Cousin them used to come to the joint in the truck and in the Jeep all the time. Me and Big used to clown these niggas every time they come down. Every time. Cause you know they coming out with them nasty ass. I hate them tank tops, guys. I don't see
tank tops.
No, the ones with the skinny ass
straps.
Yeah, and it come all the way down. It's like damn near under your nipples. Like, like I hate them shits, cuz. With the big, I hate them shits, cuz.
I don't know no street dudes that really had one. Yeah,
them super. Nah, that's them bodybuilder ass t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? So I hate them shits, guys.
Oh man.
Anyway, right? So they always get out the joint. So we always clown on big bottle ass nigga. That shit don't mean nothing. You know, I'm on bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on bullshit. So I'm like, that big bottle shit don't mean nothing. Nigga, air that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we'll be clowning. You know what I'm saying? Then they turn around and start looking tough.
Right.
Oh, right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm literally, you knew from back then, you know, this 89 summer, you know I was on bullshit, my nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know I was on bullshit there. So, you know what I'm saying? But that's just like them dudes, like rappers, like we used to see rappers, like we used to see Kane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we go shopping and we seeing niggas.
Right. In the streets.
Yeah. It's like, all right, you getting a little bit more money than me, and I'm a little nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you might then once I learned how the rap game go, once I'm dealing with Bill, I'm like, damn, we was getting more money than a lot of these niggas.
And that's what I saw.
Because realizing these niggas had to show for show. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't getting the money. So, and you got to wait to get a show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you say that's what opened the door for a lot of hustlers to get involved?
Yeah.
Because these rappers needed that money to sustain their life and the image.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But like all of them was dealing with like hustlers anyway, bro. It's like, I don't know, at least from New York, I don't know of none that wasn't dealing with some hustlers in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
Because most of them you from the hood.
Yeah.
So niggas is gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't cut like that,
yeah, you gonna get got.
Line, cuz.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Don't like.
And I don't think people know a lot of rappers got
yeah. Nigga robbed LL at the Latin Quarters. No, Latin Quarters.
Okay.
They yapped him, stomped on his chain. I mean, stomped on his car. I think he had the damn. Can't remember the car. I was a little nigga then. I was probably like 16, 17.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dudes is getting yapped and all that. Dudes is getting pressed, robbed. Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard a lot about the story.
You think Slick Rick was wearing that, walking around with that burner?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just so happened his cousin got him.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
His cousin got him and he got his cousin.
Yeah, he had to put them hot ones in him.
Yeah. I think that's crazy too. You know, your own family line you up. That's what I always tell people, man. Like, when you get to a certain status, you got to lead the hood. Because a lot of times our loyalty.
I disagree, man.
Because?
For the simple fact is, when we leave the hood, we giving all of our money to others.
Meaning,
Your
because
tax,
there's,
everything is going to the others.
but
You're not
then,
doing nothing for your community. Absolutely none.
but you can, if you're community minded, you'll leave something back, because again, like we saying, a lot of dudes get got. And if I'm living in the hood because I can only afford the hood, if I can afford to leave the hood, why would I stay? Like, why would I stay in the projects if
Because
I don't
man,
have to
I
live
mean,
in the
you
projects?
don't understand the projects.
Right. But
You
that's
can
what I'm
buy a
talking about.
house in the hood.
Say it again.
You can buy a house in the hood. They got expensive houses in the hood.
Yeah, but you gotta put some distance between certain dudes, because the wolves is out.
My
And
nigga,
some dudes don't care about your celebrity.
it's like I view it differently. You know what I mean? Because if you really community based, then you're gonna build your community. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? If you get that money, nigga, like that's the problem. That's the biggest problem with us. Instead of us trying to buy the community, we break out.
Right.
That's why dudes had so much love for Nip, because that was his idea. That was his plans. All right, I'm from 60. Nigga, I'm trying to buy the 60s. We gonna buy up the 60s where we own the
Built it up. Yeah.
60s is really own the 60s. You
Right.
feel me? And you
Right.
have a community, you have your own community, and you can and the money never leaves your community.
Now I'm all for that. And I
So
agree
that's
with
what
that
I'm saying is
wholeheartedly.
like dudes get so much money and you're going to pay taxes that's going to benefit nobody that looks like you.
Right. But then you pay taxes in the hood
I
because
would rather pay hood taxes than taxes to the white people.
well, they all going to the white people, because even when you pay taxes on your house in the hood, the people not getting it. You think every brownstone in the hood right now?
Oh, that's what I'm saying is I'm talking about a different kind of tax. You know what I'm saying? You're
What you
gonna
mean?
pay. You're gonna pay.
Explain.
I'm talking about. You're gonna have to look out for niggas. See, motherfuckers,
Extortion?
like people want to hold like, all right, generational wealth is one thing, but my nigga, if I got 100 million, why the fuck I can't give the hood 50 million?
Right.
My hood 50 million.
Right.
Why I can't invest 50 million in my hood? And I mean all the niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In
But
a
then
way,
how do you and on a serious note, how do you give the hood 50 million? What does that look like?
it's not gonna be. I'm not talking about I just come out, yo. Blah,
No,
blah,
I know,
blah.
but how
You know what I'm
how
saying?
would you do it?
But for certain demographics, yeah, nigga, I'm passing out checks, my nigga. Me personally, like I said,
Right.
I can't speak for nobody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying,
'Cause-
but for me, for my hood, the people I know, the honest people that's struggling, blah 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 blah, and even some of the motherfuckers that's breaking the law. Yeah, I'm cutting a check, my nigga, because these my people.
Right.
Nigga, I took enough away from them.
No, I agree with that, because I had a conversation with somebody about that before. What does giving back to the hood look like? And the first thing I would do was invest in people who's already doing community work. That money will go to people who's doing community work at the time. It's like
I'm gonna
tragedy.
give it to you.
PNB Rock,
I got
Nipsey Hussle.
100 million, and it cost me 30 million to build a center in the hood. Then I'm going that's you know what I'm saying? Because the kids I'm giving them first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Immediately, off the rip.
Right. We give
That's
to
what
the
you
kids.
put immediately off the rip.
Yeah,
Just
because
say I come into 100,000 with now this is net. This is after taxes
taxes and everything.
Yeah. 30 is immediately to that. Because
Right.
number one, I know I'm gonna get something back in taxes.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Becomes
saying?
right.
I'm business savvy enough to
Yes.
know that I will reap benefits off of giving back to the hood.
And that's
Then,
why I asked, what does it
then
look like? Right.
after that, cause I'm sitting with niggas and I'm cutting checks, cuz. Like, yo, what you want to do? We setting up plans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the dudes I know that's outside don't want to be outside. You know,
Right.
like niggas it's like I don't think the majority of the cats that's outside want to be outside doing what they doing.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Nah. It's just a means to an end. You know what I'm saying? To
exactly,
get to the next level.
exactly.
You're gonna do what you got to do to till you
Yeah,
get there. No, I asked that because even when we fast forward, we still talking about hip hop. When we look at the situation with Big U, you know what I'm saying, him and his situation being jammed up. When we look at dudes who get clipped in the hood, like a Nipsey, trying to do what's right by the hood, if we don't change the mentality of how dudes look at it, because every dude feel they entitled to what you get. You know what I'm saying? Oh, gutter from the hood, gutter could break me off, but you
but
might not rock with dude.
you got to think about it. That situation wasn't like that.
What you mean?
And we can't compare that situation.
Which one? Nip or Big U? With Nip?
Yeah,
Right. But I'm talking about just being accessible to the hood, like extremely accessible. And granted, you know, Black Sam said they didn't follow protocol. It's not my politics. I can only go by what he say and look at the end result. Because a lot of times we look at the intentions, but we don't look at how it ends. What is the result? Like even when you got homie from Texas, Sauce Walker and his man, like, look at every rapper right now. Like, all of these dudes got money. All of these dudes are in the hood. They trying to piece dudes off, but dudes are getting chipped because a lot of times we not changing the mentality. Look at the Migos, little bro, Offset. What's his name? Was it Offset? Was it Offset that got deleted? No,
all right.
Takeoff.
I'm
Takeoff.
I'm
Young
I'm,
brother Takeoff.
I'm gonna give you my take.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nip knew where he was from, what he was doing. You understand what I'm saying? If everybody gonna take a stance with, man, fuck that, niggas be wild and niggas be da. Because first of all, it ain't like I'm just, not. I'm still me, my nigga.
Yeah.
So it's no press game.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? It's no like that. I'm not worrying about because I'm going to die. I'm gonna die on my living. Die. I'm gonna die or kill about mines.
Right.
You feel me? So it's not gonna be like I don't worry about no press game from nobody. It's what it is, bro. We know we know where we from and what we do, but what's the bigger cause? My life is worth that for the bigger cause. And
But
if we don't got nobody that think their life is not worth the bigger cause, my nigga, and you like my nigga, like I got homies that's still outside, my nigga.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Now I get that part, but now you the bag, you the protection. You got to be protected, and I think that's the part we miss a lot of times because when the bag ain't properly protected, because shit ain't supposed to happen to the bag. If the bag is taking care of the community got to take care of the bag. And if dudes ain't seeing you as the bag, you're an asset, but also become a liability. Why? Because if something happened to Gutter, all of this shit stop, and it ain't supposed to. Something happened to Nip,
that's why
everything stop.
no, everything didn't start what happened with Nip. Nip shit's still going on. It's just
Right.
that his
They had
presence is
right.
not
Had
there
to
no.
bring it back. Yeah, because Sam and them had to bring it back. Because I went out there years after the clipping and Marathon was shut down. Like the boards was up, everything was shut down. And they had, I know you got to give it a
Yeah,
grieving time.
that certain shit was going on as well. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get defrauded. You know what I'm saying? And you get hit with fraud and shit like that because motherfuckers bootleg and shit like that. So it's shit they had to work with. But this is what I'm saying. I don't even know the whole shit, but I'm just going off of common sense. That's just common. Like you don't want because it's a lot of.
I agree with you because look, I ain't had no money at all, and I started a youth group. I done been involved in so many different organizations that I started myself with no money because my heart is for the community. But then when the community don't value what you really bring and they only looking at your pockets, and I think sometimes our intentions are good, but no good deed goes undone. Is where I'm coming from. You know, like even I'm looking at Big U thing, right? And I talked about this with Doggy on his show last week. I don't know Big U. I don't know 6-0 politics, but I know community activism and coming from the soil trying to help the community. But look, he jammed up now, and they're saying he's using his organization as a front. Now, whether he is or isn't, that I don't know. But the intentions is to help bring the people up, but you still got people in your circle that's trying to bring you down. And that's all I'm saying. Those of us, once we get money, we really got to be mindful and really take the example that history is teaching us. Not saying don't fuck with the hood, don't go to the hood, but when you become too accessible, people treat you like you common. And then they start losing respect. Oh, that's just such and such. And you don't want dudes to look at you like that, especially when you go.
Why wouldn't you want somebody to look at you as you common?
Because I'm not common. I'm not common. I'm not common.
This is what I'm saying. I'm common in the respect of I'm not better than no other person, my nigga.
Right. I get that part.
I'm not better.
I will say my conditions.
Like my of course my conditions change. But this is what I'm saying, my nigga. I'm the nigga that I'm still gonna be on the beach cruiser if no matter what.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's me. That's what I'm saying. I can't speak for nobody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't, but this is what I'm saying, and that's my view. I think if more people get money and stay where they at, you know what I'm saying? See, this is the thing is the problem is the dudes talk certain shit and really ain't like niggas that act like they turn, they not really turn. You feel me? And then when they get money, it's people out there and they don't really fuck with nobody. They act like they got a team, but they don't really got a team, so they fuck over a lot of people. And then now they scared.
I see that. Yeah, I see that too much. Yeah.
So a lot of people are opportunists. They don't even care about their hood. Like if niggas is from somewhere, they don't. They only thing is they care about the opportunity the hood gave them. Oh, the hood gave me this look. You know what I'm saying? That like I'm super turned. And then as soon as they get $2, boom, they done skated on the hood. You know what I'm saying? They ain't coming around, they not tapping in with homies, blah, 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 trying to get dudes on a different page.
Right.
You feel me?
Well, that's why we here. That's why me and you here, you know, because dudes in the hood know who we are. They know our resume. We don't, you know what I mean? It's self-explanatory. However, I just like for me, I watch what happens when dudes really hit their number and how the hood welcomes them. Because you always gonna have those negative dudes who want to line you up. Yeah. That's why even like I said, I established organizations in the community. Parents actively claiming their youth. And the one thing people always say, how do you finance all this? Getting whole buses, taking kids out the hood. Because it's about the kids. A lot of dudes, if they really want to grow and catch up with us, gutter, they will. Think of how much you invested in yourself, how many books you read, how you take care of yourself physically, your mindset, how you move. You operate with a particular code that, and this is why I say I'm not common, because a lot of dudes are not on my level. Not that I'm better than dudes, but I took a look at my life and what it used to be, and I started investing in myself. So I worked to get to certain places that I am, and I don't want to go back for nobody, right? Gutter, case in point. I'm walking down Fulton one day, this dude on Clausen, I got into it with a random dude on Clausen and Fulton. I was about to poke him in his neck, Gutter. I'm about to throw everything away. Everything. I was just about to risk it all. And for what though? What was my gain? Because dude clearly wasn't from the hood because he didn't know me. And that's what he said. Yeah, nigga, I'm in your hood and what? I was just, I asked God, why am I being
like? What was the whole interaction?
He was just ice grilling me. I was like, all right, bro. He's like, what? Where I fucked up, I'm gonna be honest. I went back and approached him because he said some slick shit. So I turned around and said, what you say? And that's when the conflict came in. And again, I almost threw it away, Gutter, because I'm like, it's cameras everywhere. I poked this dude, I'm going down. Yeah, you see Tad on the news. Just like, y'all, I knew he ain't changed that much. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I try to avoid that. One day, word to my mother, Gutter, God bless her soul. All this happened in the same time. It was 4 different incidents. The second one, I'm walking down Gates between Downing and Grand. This dude jumped at me like this, Gutter. All I could do was laugh. I laughed, Gutter, like, yo, this dude really don't know who I am.
He was a bug out.
Had to be. And this is why I say, and this is why I say
it's the hood right now, because we
gentrified, but
no, Franklin Avenue right there.
Mm-hmm.
Shelter right there.
Mm-hmm.
A few other shelters in close proximity. Barclay Centers where a lot of the homeless people come. So we got a lot of that every day.
Yeah. And but here it is, right? You and I. We put in the work. Our resume speaks for itself. I don't never tell a dude what I would do to him. You just gonna be the next assignment, homie. I ain't gonna tell you the work I put in. You're gonna be the next assignment. And this is why I say why I move different, because I don't even want to be in those scenarios to prove who I am and what I would do to you. We blessed to be here, Gutter. Think of the bang out. You free, you alive. It ain't like nobody never tried to delete you before. Ain't like nobody never tried to delete me. Like, we've really been through it. And as we get to this age where we can watch our grandchildren grow and really make money and change our life, I don't want to risk it for nobody, proving nothing to dudes in the hood. So when I say move out, I'm not talking about abandon the hood per se, but I'm talking about not make myself accessible to a lot of foolishness that dudes might want to try to get their stripes on. You think our resume started in the 80s. Some of these new dudes trying to get stripes wasn't even born.
Think about this though, homie. When you leave and you get somewhere nice, what is going to be the people in closest proximity?
My family. Same way when I bought the crib out the hood, I just went in my house. That's all I want. I want to go in my crib because you know what's so funny. Before I left,
so all your family live in one community.
No, I'm saying my family, when I leave, that comes with me. That's like boom. When I moved to Shaolin, right? I had people out there, but there was nobody I knew on my block. And I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Right when I was looking for a crib on Shaolin, dudes, I'm still on Waverly now. Dudes is banging under the window. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it went down. My first reaction.
But this is what I'm saying. When you went to
run outside.
What I'm saying is, look at my point, bro. You went to Shaolin.
Yeah.
Were you in an all-white neighborhood?
No white neighborhood. All black people.
You in the hood?
Yeah. Yeah. But not my hood.
But
I'm in the hood, but not.
But this is what I'm saying. You can build community in. What I'm saying is.
No, I agree with you. But
and I'm saying if you have the resources to buy a house in your hood that you grew up in, I would suggest that. But
right.
I don't care. Like, long as you in the hood, like where you getting all your money to black people.
Right. No, I get that part. I hear what you're saying. My position is I don't want to be that accessible.
And if I want to and act, bro, I would love to have a building like right there.
Yeah. Right.
Like St. James, anyone like from Clinton
I probably, yeah, I don't really like non-plastic cloths people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though that's still the hood, yeah.
Yeah, that like
And
it
that's
ain't our hood though. It's the hood, but it ain't our hood. You know what I'm saying?
immediate.
Yeah, our immediate hood, but it's the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I look at it like that because I used to be on those blocks.
No, I
But
used to be on those blocks, but them like is like Clawson like separate.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Clawson is a separation from even for me, who came as a teenager.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You had dudes on like what's crazy if you on Fulton Street, yeah, all the way up to Franklin. But really past Fulton Street, once you hit Putnam, like they was like different.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to
yeah.
think about it. Smoke and all them, because they would be down our way too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's Fulton Street, blah, 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 blah. But once you hit Putnam, them niggas ain't come up the way.
Right. Unless they's coming to check people. That they, yeah.
But this the thing, like, this one thing about our neighborhood. We went everywhere.
That's a fact.
We got a small hood, but we went everywhere.
Yeah. And it's unity. I think, everybody rock with each other hard. It's more like family centered.
Yeah, like ain't nobody do no chipping in the hood.
Right. But look, and that's what I was saying though. When I was still looking for a crib out on Shaolin, I had just came back from looking at the crib. I'm in bed. Remember, I was right over the stores. It's banging. First reaction to grip up. I was getting ready to run outside, but I'm like, me personally, I got to stop getting into other people's shit. But my loyalty to the hood have me getting involved in shit that don't really concern
You gotta
me.
remember sometimes, because it's been a lot of chippings in the hood that it ain't had nothing to do with the hood.
Right. But that's
Like,
what I'm saying.
you gotta
But if
chip
it's
a
on my
nigga
block,
from
I'm coming
somewhere
out.
else, a nigga from somewhere else, because we got side blocks, and we got a few little shorties down the way that dudes that was in the game was fucking with. That's
Yeah.
how dudes is getting chipped.
Yeah.
Getting caught on them, coming out them shorties' cribs on them side blocks and getting knocked down. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be a dude from somewhere else and a dude from somewhere else chipping him. It ain't a dude from here chipping a dude from somewhere else, or a dude from somewhere else chipping a dude from here. It was a lot of outside shit. Look,
Yeah. But when it happens in our hood, as protectors of the hood, because if I know, it's like, case in point, anytime I see something happening with a dude from the hood and he in trouble, I'm getting in. It's just my loyalty to the hood. And even though I ain't got nothing to do with it, I can't walk and see a dude I know get hurt. But at the same token, now I'm taking penitentiary chances over shit ain't got nothing to do with me, and I don't know the full story. Dudes dumping on you. Why? Why they dumping on you? I don't care, but they dumping, so I'm gonna hold you down.
There's really no question about, like, if you see a homie getting bust at.
Right. But then when I get jammed up, because Jake is coming, when I get jammed up, it's like, damn, Tad, how deeply did you think
But this is what I'm saying. Come on, we at an age come on, my nigga. I'm not running outside busting on niggas.
But that's what I'm saying. Me neither. But if
we
you
at an age now, we at an age now, cuz.
Right. But if you there, Gutter, if you standing there,
if I'm standing there, nigga, I'm ducking and running or trying to run. I'm bad hip, bad knee. I'm trying to run. I might get gunned down, but nigga, this is the thing is, when I come to the hood, my whole purpose is that's not gonna be happening. Cause niggas gonna be getting money. Like and then plus,
right? No, I know. I hear you with that point.
Look how the hood is gentrified.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like back in the days.
Right.
So we can't even compare shit from back in the days and now.
No,
We
I'm not even
gotta,
going.
we
I'm not
have
going that
to,
far back.
we have to, nigga, 10 years. It don't look nothing like 10 years. And I wasn't even
The
home.
scenario I gave you was a few months ago. The dudes playing with me, that was just a few months ago. That's all.
But, homie, was he
This is
from
a
the
few
hood?
months ago.
He's not from the hood.
Right.
All right, Tad. This is what
But
I'm saying. It's like
no, I hear what you're saying.
I mean, you can be out somewhere else. You can live in Staten Island and come outside and some crazy person approach you. You can move out of the hood and some white crazy person can approach you and now you jammed up. What the fuck is the difference?
The difference is that I don't associate with people in those because I want
You
you to
don't
understand.
gotta associate with nobody.
You gotta listen first. You gotta
Associate
listen
with
first.
homie. When
You
he
disputing the
approached
fact I ain't make
you,
yet.
wasn't it? Listen, this what you're missing. See, you're talking about scenarios where at any given time those can happen anywhere, no matter where you're at, Tad.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You're giving the scenario that can happen anywhere. We're not talking about the busing. You were just talking about like it wasn't a couple of months ago. It was the busing.
Right.
You were talking about when you were moving. This is what I'm talking about. Now listen to what I'm saying. We had the ages. First of all, I'm not getting in nothing that no little homies is getting in unless I'm trying to stop it. But if this is already busting, what the fuck can I do? What can you do? This is what I'm saying.
Well, we don't want to do like everybody else on YouTube. But the point I'm making, right, because we get ready, it's after 4 now. The point I'm making is that for me, the way I'm set up, I don't let nothing happen to people I know. The more I'm around people I know, I take on they shit. It ain't got to be a little homie. If it's somebody playing with you outside, I don't even got to know what it is. If I'm there, I'm 10 toes down with you.
But I don't worry about that. See, that's
I'm not talking about.
I don't like
Tom. I need you to hear me because I'm not finished my point. It's not about worrying about it. It's about at our age, I've learned to avoid shit. It's not about living in this perfect world because I know shit can happen anywhere. Shit can happen anywhere. That I know. But being so well versed in where I am and always being aware of my surroundings, I always like to minimize the chances. Not saying nothing can happen to me anywhere. Shit, I could have an active shooter on the gig. It could come on the train. It could. I know, and so I hear your point. I hear your point. But me, as Tad, me, I know that I can't live in a community that I love so much. See the people of the community get in some shit, and I don't help. And that's what I'm saying. It's some people,
but this is shit that I'm saying. Niggas is not getting in shit, my nigga. Look at the hood. Like, really look at the hood, Tad. That's what I'm saying. Really look at the hood. When the last time you heard niggas getting in something?
God, you know I got open case, right?
You
know I got open case.
Yes, right? We know about that. What was that for?
Nothing I had to do it. Not a fucking thing I had to do it.
But this is what I'm saying. That wasn't a circumstance of people having beef in the hood.
No, but I'm not talking about just beef alone. I'm talking about all that comes with it.
Look at the circumstance we're talking about. We're not talking about the circumstances we in now. Like, that makes no sense. If you had a fucking 100 million, you don't think that you being in the hood can't make a difference?
Of course it could, and I could make a difference from somewhere else. But why would I'm 100 millionaire. Why am I staying in the hood?
Because I can affect the hood.
Of course, from anywhere you are. I've affected the hood without
I'm investing directly in the hood. I'm trying to get all the gentrification out of the hood where we own the hood.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is the whole point.
Yeah. And you
so
can't do that.
Our community is stronger. I don't care.
Right. And I agree with your point.
Like, this is what I'm saying. I don't care about the consequences. That's my point.
Okay.
Because the consequences can happen anywhere.
Yes. Okay.
That was my point.
Now it makes sense. All right. Because
The consequences is gonna. I don't care where you go. If you try to start say you go in the South, just pick up a large piece of land and you try to build a community. Boo, 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 boo. What do you think is gonna happen? Somebody is still gonna try to destroy your shit.
Definitely.
So why would I try to start all over with new motherfuckers when I can start with the motherfuckers I know and we can build something on our own? Because I'm not telling motherfuckers here, yo, just go shopping and da. No, nigga, that's why I said plans.
Yes.
We
And that's
gonna
why
come with plans.
that's why I and that goes back to what I said.
The
What does it look like
gonna
giving out the
regardless.
money?
Huh?
Because and that's why I asked, what does it look like?
Telling niggas your head, like, this is not like when the nigga hit the dice game, my nigga.
Right. But that's why I asked you, because these are serious conversations. Because when the money do come, how is it? And a lot of times we say, yo, when I get my taxes, I'm gonna do this. And not talking about you, I'm just talking about human psychology on how people behave. Their intentions are good till they get the opportunity. When the opportunity comes, they don't live on that opportunity because now the reality set in. I got an opportunity to do other shit too.
But then you have to live with your decision.
Yes. Yes. Always live with you. And I agree with that 100%.
Bingo.
I agree with that 100%.
Oh, that's it. Bingo.
Yeah.
I'm
not disagreeing. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you staying in the hood.
This is
giving to the hood.
like, what I'm saying is, like, once I'm doing this, it's like, homie, this is like, this not no, we gonna re-up.
Right.
You got a plan, boom, I'm gonna support your plan.
Yes. But that's what I was saying at the beginning. Link up, because I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying what I would do, me personally. And that's why I said I would invest in people who's already doing the work in the community. How can I help you build what you're doing? I see your vision, to your point, the plan. How can I assist? I don't have to stay on
this is my
block to assist, is what I'm saying. Because once I'm knocked off, my resources is going too.
Tad,
you lose again.
Tad, you never bang, so it's a different thing for me.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you know what, Gutter? I'm not saying you wrong. What I'm saying is my perspective. Because you're right. There's a loyalty that you have to your demographic. This a loyalty is my children, grandchildren, the people that really needs me.
Well,
I'm gonna be here.
Not just that. You got people that help raise me in difficult times, my nigga. That's just in the neighborhood. Ain't got nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
because I'm not saying don't take care of the hood. I'm just saying give me 100 mil. My address is changing. Just give me 100 mil. My address is changing. I just don't.
This thing I know. See, one thing I know, I'll be able to make money back. You know what I'm saying? Through doing all this, but at the same time, like, I still match energy, cuz.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Now I agree with that. And I'm just saying we just giving out our different perspectives, and you know, some people agree with you, some people agree with me, and it's all our prerogative. But the bottom line, what we both are saying is we're gonna take care of the hood. We got to take care of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Whether you living in it or whether you're not living in it, take care of your community. Take care of the people that took care of you.
I look at it like this: if we in the hood, like, we can really remove ourselves from the system if we own all our shit. Not fully, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we don't have to engage with them. You know what I'm saying? Right. They want segregation, nigga. We got black only spots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All this shit is black only.
Yeah. Because it's after 4. We don't win a little overtime.
Yeah.
Any words you want to lead the people with?
Bring back segregation. I don't want to be around them motherfuckers anyway.
No doubt. Yo, we talked about hip hop. We may continue this conversation again because we talked about the 80s hip hop, you know, the early evolutions. Gutter shared his stories with Big. Shout out to everybody on the Playback Gang that's watching it. Like, subscribe, and share. We will be back here next week at 2 p.m. Some of y'all folks may be able to call in. Just keep rocking out with us. Until then, y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And we see y'all next Sunday. Peace.